Thank you very much, Brooks. I really have to admire Brooks for his passion and what he's done to carry on this issue and what he's been doing to continuously look at it and to continuously carry on the fight. I've had a number of experiences starting as the Wayne County Sheriff for 20 years. You see a lot of accidents that occur on the road, and a lot of them at times get some media attention, and then subsequently they could go on. You have victims for years, and people seem to forget about it and all that's involved with that person when they initially got in that accident, and the attention sort of melts away from it. And one of the concerns obviously has to do with trying to reform, or as Brooks said, to change the no-fault insurance law. I think many times if you look across the nation of all 50 states, the mission of no fault has been one that has been proclaimed as really a model to be looked at, and one that other states have tried to emulate or copy of what they've been able to do in passing similar type of legislation. We're not here to demonize anybody today. I think everybody wants to just focus on facts and what they are and how we're going to be able to move forward. And is there possibilities of any compromise? Laws can always be tweaked or changed that can make a difference to help. I think at this particular time, from a Wayne County perspective, one of the concerns we do have is that we are self-insured. And what that means is we got like 100, we've seen the winter that we've had, we have 140 trucks that are out there with the snow plows and everything else. If the legislation was passed the way it is today, that once there was a cap that was reached, in theory then, Wayne County would have to pick up the cost of those individuals that would exceed the cap. And we've had an opinion from our corporation counsel. We originally looked at it when I believe it was $1 million that was the cap. Obviously now they've looked at $10 million as that is part of it. And so there is a concern about what happens from an insurance standpoint, from a practical standpoint of Wayne County. And if somebody, unfortunately, tragically doing their job gets hurt, then this would shift the responsibility to the county and the taxpayers really to continue on to pick up the cost of what this is in this particular instance. I think that there's been, I know, a lot of discussion that goes back and forth on it. I know what the $10 million cap, I've heard that there are certain reforms that can be done without trying to cap the amount that would be paid out under the legislation. And I think that legislators on both sides are open to talking about it. I think they're always willing to talk about what we can do to make any law better at this particular time. One of the concerns I do have, though, is that we seem to be piecemealing at times, looking at when we quote want to reform a system. I think one of the biggest challenges that we face in Wayne County is the insurance rates that we face overall, especially for the people in the city of Detroit. Many of you in the media here, I know, were at the State of the City, and you heard the mayor himself say that when he moved from where he was in the suburbs and when he moved to the city of Detroit, I believe his car insurance was $3,000. When he was in the suburbs, it jumped to like $6,000 when he moved into the city of Detroit. If we are really talking about real reform, I think we have to do that across the board and look at why does it cost so much more money to insure your car in the city of Detroit, and how come that's unfairly really being thrust upon the individuals that are in the city. So I think there's open for a lot of dialogue now that can happen, and looking at totally what we can do to try to make the system better. Nobody is opposed to that, but there are a number of issues that I think that we're facing right now, especially with the additional costs that are really high insurance costs for Detroiters and getting car insurance. And it just leads to a number of different games that are played, anywhere from going out, getting the insurance, and immediately dropping it after a month and things like that. We want real reform that really helps people be able to get insurance, not try to encourage them to get around the law, but encourage them to engage with the law and for them to be able to protect their families. And as I said, from a county standpoint, we are concerned about the cap because it could impact the taxpayers of Wayne County once those caps are exceeded, because we'll probably have the liability or responsibility of picking up those additional costs, which somebody should do it, because no individual's life is considered too small not to have therapy and to have help them in what they need to get back to as good a quality of life as possible. I want to thank Walk the Line and meeting the owners and all that they've been able to do to really not only help push with the issue, but at the same time help so many people in what they've been able to do here. With that.